Good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name's Rodney Glover. I'm the candidate for governor for Florida. Earlier, I did a video talking about political study. So the one thing I wanted to do was make sure that I led by example. I'm telling you to be studied up. I'm telling you to understand what's going on. So I needed to make sure that you had a place where you could actually study along with your candidate. So if you go over to glover2026.com, hit the drop down or look across your screen. If you're on your computer, you're going to go over to political study. Let's get right into it. Every Republican candidate and both Democratic candidates use the word affordability. First and foremost, what I'm bringing forth to you is that I did my research based on who's being put out in front of you. If you remember, if you go over to our resources section, you go over to find your candidate, you hit the view list button, you start to scroll down, you're going to clearly see that there are way more candidates than what we are talking about, but this is what is being pushed towards you, the citizen. So that information is there and available. Go back over to political study. We're on affordability when you hear this from your candidate. So let's get to it. All Republican candidates promise to make Florida more affordable. Donald's lower housing costs. Collins, make Florida affordable again. Reiner, property tax cut, lower insurance rate. None of them mention rent. Before everybody goes insane and says, well, you didn't mention any of the Democratic candidates. This state has been ran by Republicans for 2 decades. You guys do not hire Democrats. You don't hire outside of Republicans. So the data's not showing that you're going to do it again. That's why we're trying to educate you to get some changes going. If you are concerned about whether or not this thing is going to be real or not, like I told you, click the link. The link is going to take you directly to the bill so you can validate. It's at flsenate.gov, Session Bill 2023-102. That's going to validate that that's what you're looking at. Senate Bill 102, 2023, signed by Governor DeSantis, effective 1st, 2023. What that law did, it created tax incentives and zoning overrides to encourage construction of workforce housing, provided $150 million a year from general revenue, allows developers to bypass local zoning rules to build denser housing in commercial industries. That's for all of the citizens out there that talk about overdevelopment in Florida. It's directly tied to Senate Bill 102. But here's where affordability kicks back in again. It permanently bans all Florida cities and counties from enacting or maintaining rent control ordinances. Let's look at the original bill. Here it is. Housing citing this act as the Live Local Act, deleting the authority of local governments to adopt or maintain laws, ordinances, rules, or other measures that would have the effect of imposing control on rent. So the affordability is not going to help you do better in rent if that is what you're hearing as a citizen. Because I'll tell you what it doesn't do. It does not address month-to-month tenant protections, eviction notice periods, or tenant legal representation. Let's move back up really fast to what the law does. This provision is permanent. The act of the permanent ban to not address rent control is permanent and does not sunset in 2033 like the rest of the act does. So a lot of the things in this act are going to have to be revoted on because they're going to go away in 2033, except for you being able to control rent. That's not going to go away. Florida ranked number 1 in the nation. So we're looking at the data now. What you should know. Florida ranked number 1 in the nation for the percentage of rent burdened households spending more than 30% of your income on rent in 2023. That's why it's important to you. That's what happens when I go out there and I'm talking to citizens and they say that rent is a problem. What you need to start asking when your candidates are out here using the term affordability, you need to ask them, are you talking about rent? Because Senate Bill 102, the Live Local Act, permanently banned every city and county in Florida from ever enacting rent control again. If you're ever concerned and you want to reach out to me, go and find me at legislativeauthority2026.com, at outlook.com. It's very important that you look me up, that you reach out to me if you have these concerns. But I will tell you, if you're looking to support me, go over to the petition page, download the petition, turn it into your supervisors of elections office before 30 July 2026. That's how you're going to support me. We're going to head back over here. What you must understand is this. If you haven't understood this, or your candidate isn't making you understand this, then you need to ask them, when they say affordability, what are you actually referring to? If it's not what you're referring to, or you did not know that, then that candidate is not for you. I am, because I'm teaching you what you need to know. We're gonna be studied up. We're gonna be well educated. So if you hear me talk about affordability, it's because I'm gonna reform Senate Bill 102. I'm gonna wipe that out, because there are a lot of citizens that are having a problem with rent. I just got a queen size bed from a lady that gave it away for free yesterday. Her son moved out. He moved into a 1 bedroom in Florida for $1,800 a month. She's like, I have no idea how he's going to make it, but he didn't want to live here anymore. 23 years old. And I can understand that as an older, you're an adult person and you want to move out of your parents' home. But at $1,800 for a 1 bedroom, out of control. And it could go up. And as soon as it goes up, now you're moving back into your parents' house. We have a problem. But if you just hear the term affordability and you're not asking them, well, will you commit to changing this? If you ask that question, they better have a real good reason for not committing. I guarantee that. It better not be nothing with morality, because morality, biblical religion, morality, standards, morals, and values cannot be the reason you do not want to help with making sure that people can afford housing. So let's not even go there. You better get a really good answer for why they don't want to do that. Thank you for your time. Let's get educated together. Continue to look forward to these messages, and I'll keep on working together. If you have anything that you want to have me add to the study material, by all means, bring it up. I will make sure it gets there, and I'll just add it to this cycle of videos. Thank you very much again. You guys have a great afternoon.